This is your home for the Cardinals. Eudora Sports Live.
Van Dong in motion. The give is to Moody. Moody ducks down and dives in. He's standing over the ball. He's going to take it quickly. Looking across the field, and he's got it! It's Jude Whalen. And now Addy Hephill puts it away for the Cards. They'll take a 2-set lead. Hendrickson in motion, give to Duncan. Duncan, and he trucks the safety. Is he in?
It's time for the Cardinals on your home for Eudora High School Athletics. Eudora Sports Live.
All right, as they wrap up the national anthem in here, as we're about to get into starting lineups on our Fort Scott Community College pre-game show. We will listen in here in the Cardinal Arena in Eudora, Kansas, as we get set for some playoff basketball.
Freshman Tatum Battle. Number 12, senior McKenna Losi. Number 13, senior Morgan Latham. Number 22, junior McKinley Harmon. And last for the Wildcats, number 23, junior Madeline Yoder.
All right, so it is the standard starting five for the Cards. Peyton Lewis, Bryn Dieterding, Izzy Brunkow, Ava Dye, Jayla Coulter. For the visiting Wildcats, Tatum Battle, McKenna Losi, Morgan Latham, McKinley Harmon, and Madeline Yoder round out the starting five. And we are about to have our tip-off, which will be brought to us by Wolf Diagnostic and Automotive. There's a lot of history between these two teams. They have played already twice this year. The Cardinals won both times. It's been an interesting season. The Cardinals absolutely come in heavy favorites here, as that's sort of how it's supposed to work with the seeded bracket. Those are the expectations here. Both times that they played, it was big wins for the Cards, 70-36 and 73-50. The Cardinals, of course, undefeated Frontier League champions. We can get into more history of this matchup and some different numbers that go along with it as things go on. But my name is Reed McAvoy. I have got Hayden Harves alongside me tonight. We have got some playoff basketball between your Frontier League champion Eudora Cardinals and the Louisburg Wildcats, who strike first through their senior McKenna Losi.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this Wildcats team going to be underdogs on the sheets coming into this one, as a early jumper from Brunkow does not go there. They do definitely come in heavy favorites, but the last time that these Wildcats lost a game was actually that second matchup against the Cards. That was on the 17th of February. Since then, 3 straight wins over Lansing, DeSoto, and Frontier League rival Paola. So these Lady Wildcats have been putting up a good fight down the stretch, and they played the Cards
well.
5-point
lead here. Tatum Battle, who put up 22 points last time these teams met, has put her team up by 5 here. So the Cardinals, a little bit of pressure, trailing here early.
Yeah, and that was a point you and I brought up last time. The Cards were played very well by these Wildcats last time in the first half. The Lady Wildcats did play them very well, but Dye puts up the first points of the game for the Cards there. Just draw them in a little bit closer.
Yeah, you want to look at this Wildcats season. So they sit at 8-15. They won their first game of the year, then proceeded to lose 8 straight as Coulter applying some pressure here. They lost 8 straight, then they won 4 in 6 games, 4 out of 6, one of those losses being to the Cardinals. Then again, they went on to lose 5 straight. Battle drains another 3. They went on to lose another 5 straight games, concluded with the loss to the Cards before winning 3 on their way in here. So they've actually had a lot of fight back to get to a solid record, considering they were sitting at 1-8. This is actually one of their better win totals in the last few years, getting up to 8 games. You want to look to the last time that they beat the Cardinals. It was in the 22-23 season, and that year was both the last time that the Cardinals had a losing record and that the Wildcats had a winning record. Wildcats beat them 3 times that year. They also met in the playoffs that year. But since then, they've played 7 times, and the Cardinals have not lost, including 3 wins last year. They met in the first round of the playoffs, and it was a 56-36 win for the Cards in that postseason matchup. Here is Brunkow for a long 2. And a great rebound by Dieterding keeps possession alive here as the Cards still down by 4. She spins, finds Coulter, long 2 off the glass, no good. Wildcats off to a decent start here.
Yeah, those long 2s, kind of horizontal to the basket, have been favorite shots for Izzy Brunkow so far today. She's tried them a couple times. Got 1 to go, 1 did not.
A moderate support here for the Cardinals tonight. Not a packed gym. I think there's a lot of that's going to be down to the fact that it's an expectation that they will walk through their opponent and get the easy win, which, you know, it's a bit of a dangerous thing, but
based on the evidence, you could understand it for sure.
I think this is certainly a game the Cardinals expect to win 10 out of 10 times, maybe even 100 out of 100 times, but that might be asking for a lot. But they are down 4 here right now, and the Wildcats have the ball. And you said they've won 3 straight, so they will come in riding high on momentum. Now, I don't think that the Cardinals are going to be a favorite matchup for them if they wanted to try and continue that win streak. But things not going horribly for them so far.
No, definitely not a fortunate draw in the first round, but the Wildcats have done a really good job here early on. Granted, the Cards have given them some mistakes. They've made a handful of errors themselves, but Wildcats have done a good job to force pressure and score points when they need them. But the Cards' offense, really the biggest enemy for the Cardinals right now. They have really struggled to score in the paint early on.
Dieterding couldn't get that one under the basket. Cardinals look flustered here, more so than maybe they have done all season. And the Wildcats will be the first team to hit 10 points here. Another senior, Morgan Latham, chipping in a couple. And a great response there by Ava Dye. She's got 4 points.
Yeah, it's another thing you and I have emphasized all season long. This team not easily fazed by pressure early, and they take possession right back here.
Here's Lewis.
Because of plays like that.
Oh, Coulter maybe was hoping for a foul there. It didn't come. So the stolen possession goes for naught. Lewis tries to get it back again, and then Dieterding will tip that one out of bounds.
Yeah, this Cards team, we have seen them this season, not a lot, but it is worth noting that on occasion you will see them start a game a little bit slower. They may go down early on, and they've never been a team to get super rattled early on in a game. They almost always respond
Battle
back.
Again. Couldn't get that one. Lewis, a freshman who's also dangerous from 3, gets the rebound. Dye denied by McKenna Losi. The Cardinals not able to get anything going right now in terms of momentum or stringing together a couple positive plays. It's just one here or there, the other, but they cannot actually turn it into much. Here is another opportunity, moving it quickly. Dieterding finds Brunkow with a little bit of room to operate, and she maybe rushed herself there on that scoring attempt. So again, a good takeaway from the Cards and nothing to go along with it offensively. Here's Battle standing on the 3-point arc. Now Yoder drives high off the glass, no good. Lewis with another rebound. She's been a great presence here early. Floats it to Dye, 1-on-1. No look pass finds Brunkow, who will get a foul. First of the game, sends Izzy to the line.
Yeah, you got to think with how much contact there was, numerous different drives down to the basket. Got to think you're going to get one of those eventually. But something big the Wildcats have done here early on this offense doesn't run through it solely, but a big factor to this Cards offense is Ava Dye in the paint. She consistently is able to get points. She's really good at, say 90% of the time she's able to make those go. And early on today, she's been struggling a little bit. You can credit that to the Wildcats defense, or you can credit it to just Dye missing a couple of attempts, but that's been a factor so far today. She's missed a couple that she wouldn't usually miss early on in a game.
Scott checks in for Louisburg. Owens has come in for the Cardinals.
Very intentional ball movement from the Wildcats here early on.
Here's
Good
the
setups.
freshman battle. She is so fantastic.
Yes.
Already has 8 points. I mentioned she had 22 the first time these teams met. She had, or the previous time they met, she had 13 the first time that these teams met. So she has put up more than 40 points
Well, and there she was
on the Cards this season.
Step for step with Dieterding there and forced a lot of the pressure that resulted in that shot going no good. Cards defense tightened up a lot here in the last couple of minutes.
Messy shot there from Losi, but able to grab her own rebound and maybe looking for a foul. Dieterding has Owens down court, looks at her, finds her now. She steps in against the defender, a little too much on that one. Not a bad move, but it doesn't turn into points. And now a timeout will be called by Coach Adrienne Lane. With her team up by 5 here, we'll go ahead and take a break. All right, back out of the timeout here. Cardinals trailing by 5. They gave up the first 5 points of the game and still have not been able to retake the lead. There was a long time this season where they were slow to start games, but not really to this extent. They have looked a little messier than we've maybe ever seen them, and they are trailing by 5 here to a team they are heavily favored against. And it is interesting, this is a team for Louisburg coming off winning 3 straight. The Cards coming off only their 3rd loss of the season. I really doubt, as Dieterding steps out of bounds there, giving it back to the Wildcats, I really doubt that it would have gotten this team too much down in the dumps. They only lost by a point. The ball near, a gust of wind and the ball would have dropped and they would have won that game. But they did end up losing for the first time in more than a month. It ended a 10-game winning streak. A corner 3 here, no good. Still loose. Battle comes up with it. And Tatum Battle, the ferocious freshman, will go to the line for a couple free throws to try and extend this Wildcats lead. Certainly not what you might have expected for the Cardinals thus far. Still some time in this first quarter to get back into it. And obviously a lot of basketball left. But so far, they need to try and settle down here, it seems, Hayden.
Yeah, they definitely do, and it's worth noting. Everyone kind of knows it, but when you go into the postseason with one of those highest records and highest seeds, the note to that can be a downside to you mentioned, being the on-paper favorite means every team you play against is going to have you circled on their schedule. They are looking at this game with intent, specific game plan about we want to disturb them this way. We really want to set our offense up to do this. You're getting a lot more analysis done on you because there's so much film on you of you playing well, and that can be a weakness. These strong teams, very good at combating it. They're not good for nothing.
Dye hits that one, and also Battle converted both of her free throws, so she is already up to double digits. No one else on her team has more than 2.
Yeah,
certainly. Still down by 5, those first 5 that they gave up, and that one, wow, going to stay in possession of Louisburg.
There's definitely been no shortage of mistakes from the Wildcats, too. It's a 5-point advantage, but don't want to act as if they've played completely according to what you think their game plan would have been either. Definitely made their fair share of mistakes, but Cards have done the Wildcats a lot of favors, but the offense is clicking for Louisburg so far.
Losi with a great finish there. She now has 4 points, puts the lead back to 7.
Moving well in the paint is not an easy thing to do against these Cardinals, and Wildcats have done it well.
Wanting to try and get a response here. Oh, a fantastic rebound by Owens to keep possession. Now Dye drives, but there's 3 defenders in the paint. She'll finish anyway.
Did not matter. That looked extremely ill-fated for Ava Dye to charge into a sea of purple.
Swipe it, but no, a foul on Peyton Lewis.
First personal, second team foul.
And now Brooke Mulvihill will check in for Peyton Lewis. That 5-point run proving to be very costly for the Cards here. But this is a team they beat by more than 30 and by more than 20 in their 2 attempts. And they haven't lost to for more than 4 years, but a fantastic finish there. Madeline Yoder gets a couple points.
And then
again,
the final
that
minute.
7-point lead comes right back, but quickly reduced to 5. Ava Dye now has 10. She and Tatum Battle, the only 2 players in double digits. Here is Tatum Battle.
Game pace is really sped up here in the last minute or so. Cards starting to force the issue a bit.
A messy pass there from Yoder. Dye swipes it. She's not going to rush things, but finds Owens. Dieterding wants the 3. Gets it! And all of a sudden, the Cards are within 2.
And this place has erupted. Wildcats, you'd expect them to really try to push a score here. This is where the Cards can take a huge opportunity if they can get a stop defensively.
And then they say, no, a timeout by Coach Lane just before maybe what could have been a step out of bounds there. But how about that for the Cards? They felt like maybe a few seconds ago they were down 7, and now they are only down 2. It also sort of felt like it was only a matter of time, but the time kept running down. And you're thinking, man, are they going to make this close before the quarter ends?
They did.
And at least so far, yeah, we've got 18.4 to go, then it'll still be a Wildcats ball. Interesting first quarter thus far, Hayden, wouldn't you say?
No, it was a very interesting one. Again, you always look at first-round matchups like this, and you know that lower-ranked team is going to come out swinging, but it's a whole nother thing entirely to execute well, to come out and look pretty good shooting and look pretty good defensively. I think they also did get a little bit of a break with how sloppy the Cards looked in the opening minutes, but you've also got to take advantage of that. You can flip that coin both ways. Wildcats have definitely looked worthy of the challenge tonight, if nothing else.
15 on the clock. Here's Kinley Scott getting to the basket and scoring. Very nice move by the junior.
Very. Giving yourself a little breathing room before the end of the first, potentially. Could be really big. Dye wants to say, though.
Euro step. Oh, my word.
Wow.
What a finish to end the quarter. She ends with 12 points. The Cardinals trail by 2, but a fantastic finish to end it. Let's take a look back at that one on the replay here real quick, if I can find the scene for it before we go. Oh, no, did I not grab it? Oh, man, I thought I was able to grab that finish there, but
we're still learning how to dial in the replay system.
Fantastic finish there by Dye. Sends us to the end of 1.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
All right, we actually did grab the replay here. It was just that it's a longer clip. I should have waited a little bit before I clipped it, but let's take a look back. This finish by Dye. I'll let you run us through it here, Hayden.
You know, Wildcats had just put points up on the board. We're talking in this moment about giving themselves a gap. Ava Dye sees a sea of purple, charges through it, sidesteps as she's so good at. And that touch on that ball, it cannot be overstated how perfectly that needs to be done for that ball to go in. And she could have even gotten an and one off of it potentially. That was really, really beautifully done.
Gave the Cards that still down by 2, but a little more breathing room here, a little more comfort as they head into the second. But they do trail here, and it's a 20-point first quarter for the visiting Wildcats. A fantastic output for them. The Cardinals putting up 18 is nothing to be shy of either. But they find themselves down here, but they do start with the ball. Lewis wanting to give them the lead, and there they have it.
I'm sad I missed the call, Reed. I was about to say they've got 3 dangerous three-point shooters on the floor, and any of them could take this game over. Lewis, who pokes that one out of bounds, comes up huge, and the Cardinals have their first lead of the day right at the start of Q2.
Neglected to say hello, welcome in to any of the Louisburg viewers, because we're on the same channel here, Varsity Sports Live.
Oh my goodness.
Coulter gets a gift there, and she won't turn it away. Grabs her first couple points, and now the Cards might be able to put cruise control on here finally in the second quarter. But this Wildcats team's not going to let that happen easily. Battle wants to tie it, and that's what she'll do. She is ridiculous.
And these Wildcats have fight here, Reed.
Remember, she is only a freshman, already has 13 points.
It's a bright future there.
Dieterding
Poked
off
out.
the side of the glass, no good. Battle leads the return.
That one was great defensively. Actually took a poke that led it into the glass.
Big bump there, gives the Cards possession. A nice pass as Dieterding collided with the defender. Coulter will score it and put the Cards back up.
And the Cards really starting to crank up the pace now. They know that if they're able to get 2 or 3 quick turns of possession and then score, as you said, they can really put themselves in position to cruise through the rest of this first half. But the Wildcats are eager to prevent them from getting the opportunity.
Spinning in the paint, no good. Trying to grab her own rebound was Kinley Scott. Dieterding comes away with it in a 3v2.
Now here's step 2.
Brunkow maintains possession, swarmed by 4 defenders. It rolls out to Lewis, who hits the 3.
Wow.
The Cardinals gave up the first 5 points of the game and trailed by that margin for a long time, but they are now up 5 right now. To the line will go Kinley Scott here for a chance to get a couple back. But the Cards have turned things around here, up 5.
Yeah, they've come in really, really strong in this second quarter. You and I both, you mentioned in the first, we knew it was just a matter of time before that run would hit. And now the ball is both metaphorically and physically in the Wildcats' court to try to match it, keep themselves close. As you and I have mentioned, the magic number kind of being around 7 to 8 points is where the Cards really feel like they can score at will and just manage a game. So it's on the Wildcats, in my eyes, to keep it under that mark.
Scott will get 1 to go, so she's got 3 points in this game. Last time that these teams met, she put up 8, and Dieterding, the hopeful lob there across for Owens, but that was much too high for her to bring in, and she was also covered pretty tightly. So a cheap giveaway there.
The kind of thing you don't want to be doing in a postseason game, even if it's one that you know and believe you can win.
Battle with some nice moves on Brunkow, but then quickly matched up by Owens. Into Scott, who gives it away. Dieterding swipes it, eyes down court. She has Coulter, but she's covered well. So she slows it down to give it to Dye, who scores.
Wow. Ava Dye's ability to manipulate her body movements and the ball itself in the paint is just unbelievable. The way she's able to set up some of those scores is magnificent, Reed.
Cards now up 6. They trailed by 5 to 7 for a lot of that first quarter.
And now the pressure really starting to mount on the Wildcats here.
And there will be a shooting foul, so Kinley Scott will go back to the line where she just went 1 of 2. Coach Parker and the student section not a big fan of the call.
And the regular fan section and the players on the bench. There were not a lot of fans of it here.
The Cardinals have put up 12 points already. The Wildcats have now just put up 5 in this second quarter. 12 to 13 or so points tends to be where the Cardinals operate in terms of each quarter. That's how much they want to try and score. But they are already there with a lot of time to go. And Coulter will quickly get sent to the line here to try and add to her 4 points.
And you can see a lot of the maybe urgency starting to kick up for the Wildcats. They're getting a little bit more aggressive, going up and down court, causing a handful more of those fouls.
Across the 3 games against the Wildcats, she has scored 31, now 32 points.
It's a pretty good matchup for her, isn't it?
She put up 11 last time and 16 in the first matchup.
And her trip to the line is a perfect one. So we mentioned near 10 points is the mark where the Cards feel like they can truly set up cruise control for the rest of the game. We are pushing that mark now. Wildcats trying urgently to force the issue away.
Cards looking a lot more organized than they did in the first quarter.
Night and day.
Bounce pass to Dye. She spins in the paint. Back, she spun out of the paint and finished. She's already surpassed 15, has 16 points, and the Cardinal lead is 9.
And Ava Dye has reached her seemingly flow state down in the paint. And with Peyton Lewis and Dieterding both firing well from 3 as well. It's a rough sign for the Wildcats.
And there was a violation there. to which Coach Parker pumped both fists. He was ecstatic to see that his defense forced that from the Wildcats. I think he's seeing a familiar story here finally, understanding that his team has taken control here, and that tends to be something they do not give up. Dieterding works around the pick. Owens against a couple defenders. It was not a bad effort, but it didn't go for her.
No, that would have been a really nice finish if it would have gone. As you said, unfortunate. Maybe a gust of wind the other way could have pushed that one in.
The 3 attempt from Yoder, no good, but it does get brought down by Losi into Scott, who lost the handle. Cardinals ball.
That was Brent Dieterding with the poke out. Now, as you said, a good point, Coach Parker. Part of that ecstasy over there may be that when these Cards seem to take control of a game and find their rhythm, it is extremely rare that you're able to shake them out of it. Wildcats had to be hoping for that miss to be much later than the second quarter.
Oh, that one
Warren
much too high for Warren. She tried to do her best, go up and get to that one, and Dye was hoping it might be a foul call. But it is going to be a giveaway. The Cardinals have slowed down a bit here, only put up a couple points in the last minute plus of play after getting 12 in the first 3. And now Dieterding will get hit with what is the Cardinals' 3rd foul of the quarter.
I think some of those fouls are almost more psychological at this point than they are actually trying to get benefits out of the fouls. Because when a team like the Wildcats is down 10, you're trying to play by a razor-thin margin and make so few mistakes. And if the Cards keep the pressure on, even if they give up a foul.
Brunkow steals it. She gets ahead of the defense, goes up, no good. Owens with the putback, though.
The pressure leads to results like that, and that one looks like it's going to induce a stop.
As the Cards have turned things on its head, they now lead by 11 here at home. We'll take a break.
Your home for live local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans!
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
All right, back out of the Wildcat timeout. They've taken 3 now in this first half, and a giveaway to Warren, but quickly recovered by Madeline Yoder, who's still being swarmed, and now the Cards do officially take it away. Dye doesn't score. Owens with another putback. Too quickly. Identical shots there for her, get her 4 points off the bench, and the Cards are starting to really put some daylight between them and the Wildcats.
Yeah, and this is when the pressure really mounts and you start seeing the impacts of it. This Wildcats team just starting to look for any way they can possibly get down court, and now is when the Cards defense is really starting to put pressure by the inbounds, which has led to turn of possession. Numerous times the Cards have gotten takeaways at that spot. And it is maybe, I was going to say maybe, it is absolutely the toughest team in the Frontier League to have to come back from a deficit against. One of the dozen or so toughest teams in the entire state to do so against.
Losi floats it in, looking towards Latham, who touches it last. Cardinals ball. Makes me really reflect on that first quarter, Hayden. I'm not sure if it was the Cardinals playing poorly, the Wildcats playing the best they ever have, maybe a bit of both. The Cardinals definitely looked sloppy, but you've got to give credit to the fact that the Wildcats were able to get those first 5, hold on to a 7-point lead for a long time, and did come out of the first quarter on top. Because, I mean, you look at what's happening now, this is what was expected to happen, and it was not going that way through 1. That's a lot of credit to this Wildcats team. Off the glass, no good, and they're still giving the Cardinals a good fight. That one's going to be a foul on Morgan Latham, going over the top there. The senior hit with a foul, but it was a very impressive effort. They won't maybe care to hear that compliment all too much, but I think that they came out here knowing they were not the favorite, knowing that they had lost pretty heavily both of the previous times, and so they could be proud with a solid first quarter, but they'll want some more fight back for sure. But it was a very impressive eye-opener. I mean, a 20-point first quarter is fantastic.
Yes, yeah, that was phenomenal, and I do think it was a bit of both. As here, pulling up from three goes Owens. That would be a long two. Does not go. No, I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, the Wildcats were certainly scoring well and playing good offense and defense, and the Cards were definitely having a lot of self-inflicted errors early on there. And as you mentioned, the second quarter has played out much closer to how the professionals would have predicted this one to go.
Apparently on the way out, that one which would have been a Cardinals ball, there was a foul, which has sent Louisburg into the bonus here, so Battle goes to the line. If she hits her next one, she will hit the 15-point mark before halftime.
Crowd doing all they can to prevent that, and they do so.
So she is 3 of 4 at the line in the game. Wildcats will be in the bonus for these final 2 minutes. Dieterding gets past Battle, out to Owens. Now Coulter spinning through a couple defenders and scoring.
Man.
When they get into flow state, they make it look easy, Hayden.
Yeah, it doesn't look difficult whatsoever once they really start firing down there in the paint. It's not an easy thing to do. It's really a testament to how phenomenal they are at that. Really, this whole Lady Cards team, but Coulter and Dye in particular, make it look like child's play.
Latham floats towards Losi, who brings it in, and a nice basket there for McKenna Losi.
Really nicely done. Keeps the Wildcats within range.
Dye takes on 3 defenders, and they do shut her down.
At some point you wonder if before half you'd almost rather Dye stop taking some of those hits and going to the ground. Of course, big part of her play style.
And there's that play, couldn't go for him. It also didn't go one of the times against Hayden in the previous matchup, which normally that play has been all reliable for the Cards. Battle wants a 3, high arc, no good. Dieterding snags it, we're now under a minute. She floats it to Owens, who goes up and scores.
Reed, can we call this, we've called it for Peyton Lewis, we've called it for Ava Dye and Jayla Coulter. Can we just say the whole Cards are approaching flow state as a team at this point?
Oh yeah, they have grown into this game. I guess they reverted to the first part of the season where they needed to grow into the game, but this time it only took them a quarter. And yeah, they feel like they are flying as high as they can right now.
Yeah, no, this is, I won't say the best version of the Cards we've seen all year, but this is what they like to look like. This is a lot of how they like to play. And you can see the Wildcats trying so hard to hang with
Battle
them.
Deep 3, no good, off the side of the rim. Now the shot clock's off for the Cards. So Bryn Dieterding will take her time, stroll down court, call out the play.
Truly slow down to a stroll. 15, a lot of time left. I think Dye could charge up court if she likes the look. If not, you drift back and try to pull up. That's Coulter, excuse me.
In the corner, now here's Dye. 3 seconds. Against 4 defenders. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Reed. Unbelievable.
She's ended both quarters with ridiculous finishes to give the Cards now a 16-point lead as we head to halftime. Remember, they trailed by 2 when that quarter started. The Cards are flying high here. When we're back, it's the halftime show as we analyze that first half and look towards the second half of this playoff matchup. Keep it here on Eudora Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here, studying animal science or learning about farm and ranch management. Maybe you belong here as part of Hounds Hoops on the hardwood. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans.
Keep up with the action at varsitysportslive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
All right, welcome in here to the Attic Storage of Eudora halftime show. Attic offers climate-controlled units, RV and vehicle storage, plus clean, move-in ready spaces. As a veteran-owned, community-focused business, Attic features monitored 24/7 access with friendly on-site managers. Rent, reserve, and pay online anytime at attic-storage.com. So an interesting one, Hayden. It was a 20-point first quarter for the Louisburg Wildcats. The Cardinals with a storm back late to only trail by 2, but they trailed by 7 for a lot of that first quarter. But then they went absolutely off. They scored 26 points in that second quarter compared to the Wildcats' only 8. And so all of a sudden this game looks like it's on pace to be a pretty massive blowout, which is actually what was expected based on the previous 2 matchups. But it seemed like even if the Cardinals were still going to win, tonight might be a different story. But at this point, it's not looking that way much anymore. What do you make of that full first half?
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you would have looked at this game and thought, even if you looked at the first quarter alone, you know that the Cardinals have the capability to turn games around quickly, and they can score, and they can make a very close game not look close at all. But to do that in the span of 8 minutes, to take a game from, oh no, we're down and we've legitimately got to do some work to win the game, to, oh yeah, this game's probably over, in the span of 8 minutes for a lot of the fans in the arena right now, because that's how a lot of them are looking at this. They're going, oh yeah, they're up front now, they're going to win. That's incredible, and that's not just one performance. Ava Dye was spectacular in the whole second quarter, but Jayla Coulter made contributions, Peyton Lewis did, Bren Dieterding did a lot of defensively as well. Everyone performed well in that second quarter. That was a full team effort, and I made a comment earlier on that I didn't want to necessarily say it was the best we'd seen them look, but it was close to it. I think I can say that was every bit as good as we've seen the Cardinals look all year long, near the midway to late point of that second quarter. They looked completely untouchable, and you wonder if you're the Wildcats in the locker room looking up at that, what do you even do? How do you even start to chip away at that gap? because there is not a lot of weak points. You can't shoot from the arc super well. They're going to keep pressure on you. Good luck going into the paint right now because those movement lanes are essentially non-existent. Just all kinds of pressure. They've really hit, as you and I said a couple times, flow state here. And when they're flowing like this and playing this well, there's so few things that anyone can do to keep them from running up the scoreboard, Reed.
Yeah, and I'm trying to track down the current score of the Chanute-Fort Scott game, the game that we'll be playing the winner of. Should we go on to win this game, we'll go ahead and take another break, and if I can track that one down, then we will relay the score of that one. We've got about 4 minutes left in halftime.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, service.
Everybody can make something because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Hey, I'm Mike Grope, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Micro, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright.
Here, for instance, we can see Micro doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
Number one, obviously, is safety. We definitely call 811 to find out if there are any buried lines, fiber optic, whether it be telephone or pipeline or anything. Don't take a chance. Don't think you know and say, well, I don't remember anything being put in there. Call 811 and make sure that that's identified, that there isn't something there before you make that crossing. Because in the end, we want everybody going home.
For the best care for your pet, choose DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Dr. Matt Fair and his team are dedicated to providing high-quality medical care with compassion and a personal touch. They treat every pet as their own, ensuring they receive the attention and respect they deserve. For routine checkups, testing, vaccinations, chiropractic and acupuncture care, or surgical services, you can trust Dr. Fair and his team at DeSoto Veterinary Clinic. Call 913-585-1115 to schedule an appointment today or visit DeSotoVetClinic.com.
All right, back in here on the halftime show. So the matchup of which the winner will be played by the winner of this game is the 6 versus 11 Ottawa versus Chanute. Ottawa are hosting. They have a 16-7 record. Chanute have a 13-9 record. And right now at halftime, the visiting Chanute Blue Comets are leading 22-18, a much lower scoring game over there, but only a 4-point margin. Of course, the Cards have played Ottawa twice this year. They beat them both times, once by 8, the other time by 16. But they have not played against Chanute, who currently lead here as we get going on the third quarter following an impressive output by the Cardinals, an 18-point quarter win.
And it continues here,
sees
Reed.
them have this sizable lead right here as we get going on the second half.
Dieterden keeps up the defensive aggression early on.
Here's Lewis.
Patience.
Step back, hesitates, needs to find someone. She's locked her feet here, gets it to die.
Well done by Lewis to keep the feet locked in place and find the teammate.
Brunkow in the corner. That one won't go. Coulter tips it, but Tatum Battle corrals it. She has 14 points through the first half of this game, put up 22 last time these teams met.
And she's going to have a really impressive high school career. I tell you what, future looks really bright for her.
And I imagine, if provided that she wants this, we'll also be talking about a college career come the end of that high school career.
Gotta think so. Based off what we're seeing as a freshman with 3 more years to grow into the sport, you've gotta think so. Now this looks to be a very familiar Eudora Lady Cardinals second half. Controlling the pace, they'll go spurts of moving quicker and spurts of slowing things down quite a bit, but that'll be the general tone. If they're able to keep scoring points, they'll keep a firm control on the pace and how it plays out.
Falling down there, trying to do her best to keep it alive or keep possession was Yoder, but given away to Dye. Dieterding, no good. So we go the first minute and a half without any points being put up on the board. Lewis will try to fix that now. Still no good. So we sit where we began, 44-28.
And a full 2 minutes of no scoring would feel really interesting in this game.
Battles
Felt
three,
like that'll be the one
also
to
no
change it.
good, and then no good on the short range shot from Losi. Dye will try and keep us from getting to 2 minutes without a point.
She will.
And she will do just that. She has 20 tonight from the sophomore.
To be precise, we went 1 minute 56 seconds, but no cigar on 2 minutes. Ava Dye said, we're not going to let you get all the way there. Keeps the gap bigger.
And then a quick response through Morgan Latham. Dye put up 11 points last time these teams met, 15 the first time, but she has surpassed both of those totals with 20 in this game.
This has been one of those Ava Dye nights. We mentioned that part of that maybe funk that the Cards were in the first couple of minutes. She missed a couple of shots in the paint that she would consider routine, maybe not most players, but since then she's tuned it up very well.
Well, remember, Hayden, there was also the fourth quarter against Hayden Catholic where she scored all 13 points
by
for
herself.
the Cardinals.
Yep.
Brunkow walked past the entire defense, said, make it easy on me, why don't you? Tucks that one in.
And worth mentioning now, of course, we mentioned the scores of the previous 2 games briefly, but in both matchups, the Cardinals went over 70 points. And the highest the Wildcats were able to muster was 50. 50 looks like it may be a solid uphill climb for the Wildcats, but 70 looks like it could be within reach if the Cards want that to be the case.
Technically, Hayden, which they say technically right's the best kind of right. They didn't go over 70 when they hit 70.
They hit 70
in the game,
in both.
Yep. Just to be a stickler, because I am like that. It was
I am usually like that too,
a
so I appreciate it.
70-36 game, and then the other one was 73-50. Here's Battle pulling up from 3, in and out, and Dye will come up with it.
I will say I'm usually a stickler on words that way as well, so I do appreciate it.
They've hit the 70-point mark both times, and I think could be well on pace to do the same here.
I think really it just depends on how rapidly they want to emphasize scoring. If they want to run up the scoreboard, certainly can. This may be one of those games where they more so opt to just keep the gap and control the pace the rest of the way out.
Well, yeah, you wonder. I mean, we've seen this Cardinals team never treat a game differently despite the scoreboard, despite the circumstance. But you do wonder, you get into the playoffs with your whole team healthy.
Does that
change? Do you want to try and prioritize keeping it that way if you feel like you've done enough? I would imagine Coach Parker would want to do as little changing to the formula as possible, but you could also say, you know, we've got all of our stars healthy and we've got a good lead. At a certain point, you wouldn't do it right now, a lot of game left, but at some point you could say, I really like the fact that, you know, everybody's ankles are intact and everybody's ACLs are feeling strong, so let's let them sit on the bench and play again on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that from a game plan perspective, as perfect trip goes there for Lewis, you wouldn't necessarily have to change a whole lot about the game plan. It could be something as simple as, you know, all right, when we're breaking court, we're going to pass it an extra time or two just to run a little bit more clock. That kind of thing.
Gets in the way of that one and then gets it back from Owens, goes up quickly, scores.
Nice. Beautifully done there.
Only 5 points for her tonight, but she has been everywhere. And she's going to
again.
take that one away, but then couldn't hold on to it. Thought maybe she was fouled. Taken away by Kinley Scott,
wants a
who's
piece
also
as well.
going to get denied by Ava Dye.
That might stick.
Well, I was thinking too, Hayden, about the the resting players, we have seen that this Cardinals bench is just as ferocious, just as aggressive, and also can score very well. So maybe that could be something to consider earlier than we've seen it. A lot of times,
Dieterding all on her own there.
A lot of times Coach Parker has waited for the running clock to get in, so that's if you have a 30-point lead in the fourth quarter, as Dye hits 22 points tonight. But maybe he could try and initiate that a little earlier. Maybe the 30-point lead may come earlier than normal for the Cards.
Only 6 points away from it. That one takes a tip and goes out. Maybe not.
This one in for Losi, and it'll be a jump ball. Owens getting her hands in on it, and that will mean the Cardinals take away possession.
Sending the Wildcats number 13, Morgan Latham.
I mean, goodness, it didn't feel like we'd be pushing 30 points, but Cards are only 6 points away from that mark, Reed.
Their lead has just been climbing, and the fact that they trailed by 7 at one point feels like distant memory. Okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed. I don't think anybody remembers when that happened.
And if you do, it feels, as you said, like something that you would have watched maybe on a black and white TV or listened to on a radio. It feels like it would have been long, long ago that these Cardinals would have been losing significantly to the Wildcats. But as you said, growing into the game has been an easy one for them.
The long two from number 2, no good for the senior Warren. Avery Warren, last time these teams met, put up 7. Yet to score here tonight, but she might try and chip in as the game goes on. And we've got a timeout taken here. We will go ahead and take a quick break ourselves.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Now I'm looking through my numbers here from the previous matchups, and the one that's interesting is Peyton Lewis, both times, last time put up 17, the time before put up 12, as we're back here out of the timeout. She's got 8 thus far here, so I think that if there's a player that's going to maybe put the finishing touches on this one, I might look for Lewis to pull up from 3 a couple more times. Just like Tatum Battle is a freshman who's dangerous from 3, Peyton Lewis made of exactly the same metal for the Cards. Mulvihill will get hit with that foul. This is Ella Bockelman, and not sure what the call was there, but the Cardinals come away with possession on it.
Certainly not going to complain about it.
They've also got Aaliyah Gibbons out there on the court for the Wildcats. Believe she's grabbing her first minutes here. This one will go near to Gibbons. She's got her hands on it. Here's Bockelman. Floated into Losi against 3 or 4 Cardinals defenders, and they won't let her get away with that one.
So they moved the ball around well, but this Cards defense, even second string or players who don't see the court as much, they play with, as you mentioned, just as much tenacity and composure on defense. The takeaways are a constant tonight.
Owens puts it up and scores. She's got 8 points tonight, a very good output for her.
And for the Wildcats, you'd love to see them emphasize shooting from outside the arc just a little bit more. Of course, Cards never make it easy, but it's a war inside the paint. Here's the pull.
Here's Gibbons from 3. Aaliyah Gibbons, the junior. Well, I was thinking, Hayden, we haven't seen the ball in the hands of Tatum Battle so much. I know she's just a freshman. They might also be protecting her to some extent. She's on the bench right now.
Yeah.
But, man, if you want to get some points, I think the answer is give her the ball more often.
For sure. Even if the points aren't a guarantee, you'll give yourself a chance at them. Carly Owens has been all over the place. Really aggressive inside the paint in particular here in the second half.
Here's Gibbons after draining that 3. Now Bockelman. She spins, finds a couple defenders in her face. Losi with an and 1. Oh, wow.
Very nicely done. Wildcats say, if nothing else, we are not going to allow you to put us in a running clock in the third quarter, doing all they can to avoid that fate.
It was Coulter hit with the foul. Tatum Battle does come back out onto the court for Louisburg. Losie's first attempt at the line tonight goes, and she has 9 points, good for second best on the team. Brought them back within 20. It's still a big margin there.
Given the fact that they were almost down 30 at one point, though. Certainly a significant walk back for them.
And let's see, I think that one's going to stand as Dye tucks it away. And yeah, it does go up on the board. And one for Ava Dye, whose fantastic night just keeps going. If she hits this one, it'll be 25.
Man. Tell you what, it's an amazing night regardless, but if she would be able to hit 30 tonight, that would be a trophy in the case, even though there wouldn't be anything physical.
The perfect 25 won't come for her, but the Cards do rebound, and Coulter's three way too short, and then Owens forgot to get it out of her hands before she came back down.
The effort was good, the thought was good. Just got to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker.
Not difficult, though, to excuse things like that when you're up by this much.
Oh, for sure. You know the Cards one of those teams that are always going to emphasize that kind of thing. Like you said, treating every game as if it is the exact same scenario at all times.
Yoder lost the handle for a second. The jump ball call, or no, a timeout instead by Coach Lane. This time we can go ahead and keep it here, provided it's not a full timeout. Oh, it is a full timeout. We'll do a 30-second break, then come back and talk.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
All right, back here during this Wildcats timeout. We've got just under 24 seconds remaining in the quarter. And the Cardinals still up here sizably. Been a decent one here. Hayden, what do you make of everything that we've seen thus far?
Yeah, the first quarter was a really intriguing one. That's going to be a point you and I discussed quite a bit. But since that first quarter, it has been a quintessential Lady Cardinals game. They've done everything they like to do well.
Oh, that one
was a nice put in there.
The net didn't even ripple from Losi.
Not even a bit. No, since that first quarter, this has been a quintessential Cards game. They've put a lot of pressure on defensively. They've shot well on offense as Owens tries to
this one
drive
runs
that
away
point home
from everybody, and they will not be able to get anything back. So it is a 20-point lead at halftime. I have to cut you off there, Hayden.
You're all good.
That full timeout ended up being more like a 30-second one. It's fine. We will have some thoughts at the start of the fourth quarter when we're back after this.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
Back out of that quarter break. 8 minutes is all that separates the Cardinals from a first-round playoff victory, a third win over the Wildcats this year. And looking over at the other matchup, that affects the Cardinals. It is 35-32, the Cyclones lead with 1:48 to go in that game against Chanute. The Cardinals, provided that they win, which is looking like to be more and more of a sure thing, just don't want to be blamed for anything and say when they win. If they come out on top, they will host the winner of that game here on Friday, and we will be there for it. Coulter gets fouled on the way up, so she will go to the line to try and add to her 8 points tonight.
The Wildcats have put up a good effort here through that third quarter to make that gap a little bit smaller, had a good run to cut, I believe, 6 points off the Cards lead, but Cards are firmly in that cruise control mode where they're just going to manage time and score points when they can. Not going to be forcing the issue a whole lot here.
Well, and if Coach Coulter is up to 10 points tonight, if he does want to continue to wait until the running clock, which has been the way he's gone about it for putting in the full line change, maybe he could be hoping that his team gets there sooner rather than later, just for the sake of more minutes for his players and safety for all of the starters. You'd hate to lose somebody at this point of the season, and then especially at this point in a game like this. Here is Dieterding pulling up for three and hitting it. She says, you got to come and pressure me, or I'm going to do that.
Give her time to set her feet, and it's going to be a long night for you, and that goes for a lot of the Cardinals' offensive firepower here.
A travel call gives the ball back to the Cards, and they are approaching that 30-point mark, up 25 with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier another couple threes from Peyton Lewis would feel like a pretty big moment, and we are, as you said, not guaranteeing anything, but firmly this game is in their grasp. But for the sake of hitting that running clock, could still work well. Dieterding tries to pull, hits the side of the rim.
Tatum Battle still sitting at 14 points. She hasn't scored in a while at this point. Losi no good. Bouncing around, Dieterding racing against a couple defenders, including Tatum Battle. Out for Lewis. There's the three for Peyton Lewis. Puts her over 10, up to 11 tonight.
That was a beautiful moment, too. This place fell completely silent the moment that shot went up. Almost as if they knew they'd get to erupt just a second later.
And a big travel call there, because now if the Cardinals can tuck this next one away on this possession, it will be done and dusted at this point. I mean, already the comeback trail feels virtually impossible, but if that clock just keeps running, there will be no way back for Louisburg.
Who else to give it to with an opportunity?
Spin, shoots, no good.
Wildcats do survive. At least immediately, Cards defense still applying a fair bit of pressure, though.
Losi. A great shot there from a tough angle. Gets her up to 13 points. The senior, the very solid output tonight. Also gets the Wildcats up to 40.
Gives them a little bit more leeway in that potential risk of that ever-looming running clock. Dieterding will circle back outside the arc.
Which I think at this point is more of just something that the Cardinals bench players will want to see than anything that the Wildcats are worried about. I think they are resigned to accept the way that this game has gone, as the Cards also closing in on that 70-point mark.
Yeah, at this point you're just focused on playing well, giving yourself those good, strong takeaways to take into what will be your off season.
And Battle going to get fouled by her opposing freshman Peyton Lewis, who's up to 3 fouls.
Two extremely prolific players in their own rights. Two players that'll be a lot of fun to watch in these upcoming Louisburg-Eudora matchups for years to come.
At the end of the third quarter in the Ottawa-Chanute game, it is now a 9-point lead for the hosts, the Cyclones, pulling away from Chanute a decent bit with 8 minutes to go in that one.
That'll be a fun matchup. Those two games against the Cyclones this year were both really fun ones for these Lady Cards. It'll be interesting to see how it rolls.
Drains one to get up to 15 points here.
Dieterding, all kinds of urgency there.
Oh, and the and one didn't go for her, so she will go to the line for 2 on the shooting foul.
You know, she would have loved to get that one. That would have made it, for what it's worth, an even 30 as well. If she could have, it's not a given that she would have gotten both to go from the line. and the and one, but would have given her the opportunity. First one drops, one more would put the Cards at 70 in all 3 of their Louisburg matches this year, and Dierding does just that.
Her first couple free throws both go. That gets her up to 10 points, and a timeout will be taken here with the Cardinals up 29. We will definitely, provided they don't go to overtime or something, try and do our best to keep you on the broadcast until the end of that Chanute-Ottawa game so that we can tell you what that next matchup will be. It does not sound like we will be covering the boys' games here because they're going to be on the road, and I think they'll actually be covered pretty thoroughly. I think that was what it was sounding like,
it
right,
does
Hayden?
look like it. Yeah, it sounds like both their opponent tomorrow night, which I would have to check and clarify who those teams are, but both of their matchups this week, it sounds like, do have live coverage from both of those respective schools. So it does sound like you Cards faithful will have an opportunity to go watch your boys play tomorrow night and Saturday at, I believe, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but for the time being, we will get to follow the Lady Cards here, and we will be with you again on Friday. And that broadcast and this one as well, everything that we do on Eudora Sports Live, is presented by Kansas Insurance. Kansas Insurance believes in taking time to issue personal care and attention to each individual client. To see how Kansas Insurance can help you protect what matters most, call 913-369-6600. So coming out of the timeout, still no running clock here, so you've got 3 players from the Cardinals starting 5. Battle trying to bring it closer, but Dierding brings it down, has Warren in front, but she'll go herself, and then Warren in the corner. She's dangerous in the corner. Yes,
there
she
it goes. And this crowd is loving it.
The senior institutes the running clock, draining that one, putting the Cards up 32 in a game where they gave up the first 5 points, trailed at the end of one. They have won every quarter since and run away with it here, looking like the Frontier League champions that they are. And with the starters still out there, Warren couldn't get that one to go, but Dye takes the putback. She's got 26.
Watching Dye and Warren laugh and interact there coming back up court. This team is having a good time, and when they're in rhythm like this, good luck beating them if you are anyone else in the state.
That one goes off the head of Losi, given away to Dierding, who charges down court and now slows it down. Warren again in the corner, this time the far corner, hoping she might get another chance. And there is now 5 Cardinals waiting in the wings to come into this game. That line change will happen at the next stoppage of play. Dye goes up, and she's got 28 tonight.
Wow. Pushing a 30-point game, and that will be how her night concludes, it looks. To an ovation from the crowd that now turns into a standing one.
The Cardinal Arena gets on its feet, applauds these starters as they will be done for the night here. The champions of the Frontier League have beaten yet another Frontier League opponent, won another Frontier League matchup. This time in the first round of the playoffs, they will be headed to a second game on Friday here at home for the Cardinals faithful. That one will be either way, whether Chanute or Ottawa, will be a tougher matchup, one where there's real potential that they need to truly go and win that game.
Yes.
But still, you would favor them either way. And that's going to be the case for a long time for the Cardinals. It'll be tough until you find an opponent at the 4A level where you don't favor the Cardinals.
I mentioned earlier there may be 10 to 20 teams in the entire state of Kansas, anywhere in the regions, that you would even look at as favorites over this Cards team. Just so dominant this entire year.
And so out there on the court now, Kylie Bourne, Marley Folks. Let's see here, we've got some numbers on this roster that I've got. Nikki Room, as that one in and out from Latham. And then basket does go for Losi. Emma Sarber is out there. And Mulvihill returning to the court.
Also a little more information we came across for the boys basketball matchups throughout this week. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. the boys are in Santa Fe Trail, Carbondale. They'll be playing that game at 6 o'clock on the road, and then Saturday they will play the winner of either Chanute or Fort Scott at 5 o'clock. That game they will be on the road for as well. And from what we heard, it sounds like Chanute, Fort Scott, and Santa Fe Trail all give you a pretty solid coverage of their high school sports. So you Cards faithful can, hopefully without too much trouble, track that one down. Cheer on the boys tomorrow night in their first postseason matchup of the season.
Yeah, I didn't know about Carbondale, but it looks like both Fort Scott and Chanute have YouTube channels where they broadcast their boys' games.
There you go.
Got some discussion here at the scorers table. And now they get the go-ahead on this inbound, and Nova Hill scores her first points tonight.
It's amazing how seeing one of these younger, maybe less used to seeing them on the court players getting a point makes this crowd erupt. They really do love and admire every one of these Cards athletes.
Room takes that one away. Cards might be able to hit 80 here. Kylie Bourne with the ball. Sarber wants the three, no good. The rebound, Room scores.
81 points tonight. They are close to doubling up the Louisburg Wildcats, Reed.
And the putback effort will draw a foul, so Latham to the line. Sarber hit with that one.
First personal, second team foul. Number 13, Morgan Latham at the line.
Man, what a night this has been, Reed. These Lady Cards feel so inevitable, even in games where an entire quarter of it can go anything but in their favor.
Latham got one of those to go, so up to 7 points. And now Sarber draws a shooting foul. We'll see if they provide her the time to take them or not. It's certainly not necessary. But I bet that the
You'd always love to get the opportunity.
Complain, yeah.
Yep. She is going to move with a little bit of urgency, try to fire both of them off. First one goes up and just rolls off.
The official is going to wait here. Is he just going to let the game end, or?
They actually stopped the clock, so it looks like they are going to give her the shot.
I think the official wanted to let the game end, and the clock operator said she's going to get a shot. Sarber grabs her first point, and that should be the end of the game. It will be. So 82-44 is the final score here for the Cards, and that will be a first-round win here for the Cardinals. Some players in tears for Louisburg, as it turns out to be their final matchup of their careers if they are a senior here. We can reflect on that more when we get back, because we've got for our viewers from Louisburg as well. Appreciate you guys spending the time with us. So we will wrap everything up from the Cardinal side, from the Louisburg side, and then send you out of here. But keep it here on Eudora Sports Live for the postgame show. A playoff win for the Cardinals here at home.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Your home for live, local sports. Varsity Sports Live delivers professional level coverage with high-quality video and broadcasters that know your schools and community.
Touchdown, Tonganoxie!
With the support of local businesses, you never pay to watch varsity sports. Live, local, free high school sports coverage. That's Varsity Sports Live.
Grass gets it away. Moore's down the middle. And he makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans.
Keep up with the action at VarsitySportsLive.com. Live, local, free high school sports.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
At Fort Scott Community College, we understand that a scary part of figuring out your future isn't only answering the question, what should I do, but where do I belong? Maybe you belong here as part of Fort Scott Community College's John Deere Tech program. Maybe you belong here as part of the perennial playoff-bound Greyhound baseball team. I don't know where you've been or where you're headed, but I know we're saving a spot for you because you belong at Fort Scott Community College.
All right, welcome in here to the Eudora Animal Hospital post-game show. Eudora Animal Hospital has been caring for pets and livestock with fair pricing, trusted service, and compassionate care for 40 years. Pet owners from across the region trust their four-legged friends to Eudora Animal Hospital. You can go learn more at eudoravet.com. So a big win here for the Cards, 82-44 the final. They put up 24 points in that fourth quarter, which is crazy output there considering there was the running clock and all of that. It honestly didn't feel right to me, but I checked the math. It's like, yeah, wow, they really did put up. So, I mean, just in the second and the fourth quarters alone, they put up 50 total points and only allowed 14 across those two quarters. So that alone is a great recipe for success. And in the end, it was a very, very successful night for the Cardinals. A bit of a sputtered start, but they got over that before the end of that quarter, and then just kept running away with it from the minute one of the second quarter. This game was always going to end in a Cardinals victory, and that is how it went here. Let's first talk about things from the Eudora side, then we can talk about it from the Louisburg side. But Hayden, what is your thoughts on this Cardinals performance as they look forward to another playoff game on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, this game is, you can come up with all the terms and all the phrases. It feels like we've said it all already to some extent, but these Cardinals are just so good at playing their game in every situation, regardless of how the game is going, which I think goes along with what you and I compliment frequently. They play every single game as if it's a close game still, no matter where they are, no matter how much they're up by. And that really does translate into games like this where, they go down 5 early on, and then even when they start scoring, the Wildcats keep scoring as well, keep that gap up fairly high. The Cards never wavered. They never looked super uncomfortable. Once they knocked off what little rust there was in the first quarter, because they did look not like themselves for a good little while, as soon as they got over that, there was quite literally nothing the Wildcats could do, and that's the biggest strength to this team. When they truly start clicking, Ava Dye's moving well in the paint, Jayla Coulter's doing well as well. Peyton Lewis is shooting good from 3, Bryn Dieterding is playing well defensively and shooting good from 3. Even Avery Warren sets herself up in the corner where she's comfortable. When this team is clicking, they're close to an unstoppable unit overall, and the Wildcats just felt the force of that today, unfortunately. And, these Cards are such a dominant team. All you can hope for is that as they go down the stretch, that dominance continues, they stay in that rhythm, because they are not a fun matchup for anybody in the state if they play like they did tonight.
Yeah, and you look at Ava Dye tacking up 28 points in the game, which is just ridiculous output for her. For anyone, but for her, she has been hitting the 10-point mark at some points and even the 20-point mark, but she really got close to a 30-point game and would have surpassed it had the subs not come in at the end of that game. A ridiculous output for her, who I still think is the lead favorite for Defensive Player of the Year for the Cardinals. She added on 28 points, and that is just, again, we talk about recipe for success. You will win games if your defensive star player is putting up 28 points. And that went along with 3 other players getting past double digits, and Carly Owens chipping in 8 points off the bench. A really, really solid performance. Let's go ahead and run through those score tallies, and we can look at it from a Louisburg side of things. So Avery Warren, the senior, got a 3. Peyton Lewis with 11. Bryn Dieterding with 10. Izzy Brunkow with 5. Ava Dye with 28. Brooke Mulvihill with 2. Carly Owens with 8. Jayla Coulter with 12. Emma Sarber with 1. And Nikki Room with 2. On the other side for Louisburg, Tatum Battle with 15. McKenna Losi with 13. Morgan Latham with 7. Madeline Yoder with 2. Kinley Scott with 4. And Aaliyah Gibbons with 3. So then also, Hayden, there were a couple of players, specifically McKenna Losi, I saw that, reasonably so, brought to tears the final organized basketball game of her high school career. McKenna Losi, Morgan Latham, and Rhea Kegel are the 3 seniors on this squad. It was a solid season for them. We talked about they started 1-8 and then still managed to finish at this point 8-16. They've got one of their best winning tallies in the last 3 or 4 years, I believe, for them. So even though you wouldn't call it a successful season necessarily, I actually think you could. It wasn't a winning season, but I think that they surpassed expectations. They graduated 7 seniors last year, and they weren't a spectacular team that last season. And so they surpassed that performance, doubled their win tally from last year with fewer seniors. And I think that it's you can. Hopefully, McKenna Losi, Morgan Latham, Rhea Kegel can hold their heads high. They contributed to a great team. They made some good memories. They go out winning 3 of their last 4. They won their 3 final regular season games. So, yeah, for all of our Louisburg fans out there, Hayden, even though we have a limited view of their season, reflect on the year for them.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you put it into words really, really well, where in a year where you face so much, and call it trial and adversity, not only graduating seniors, but it's not like you had a 15-win season and you lose a lot of seniors and you go, all right, we're probably going to struggle a little bit more. In a season where you weren't necessarily, where you were a 4-win team, and you come back from that with a lot of really young players, looks like a full-scale rebuild, and you still come out and you win 8 games and you give a lot of really strong teams a run for their money. You gave the Cards a full first half of trouble here at home the last time we covered them, and then you gave them a quarter where you were leading today. A team that's likely going to make a state run and have expectations to go pretty deep in that tournament. It's really, really impressive. And as you said, not only that, but the memories are going to make a roller coaster of a season, right? Riding that high numerous times of the big win streaks and answering a losing streak with a handful of wins in a row. That's a really special thing for a lot of athletes. And everyone on this team tonight, you saw the emotions on the court from them. They're going to remember this season for years and years to come. It's always going to be something they look back on favorably. And losing tonight, I've got to think, isn't going to be a massive stain on their year when you ended on such a high note, as you said. And you've got to think they were above expectations for a lot of the year. It's really impressive and does give you a lot to look forward to for the future of that program.
Yeah, I think that for these seniors, their impact can carry on for the next 3 years through Tatum Battle. Like, she's the lone freshman here on this, at least on the varsity squad that's listed. And I think that they really raised her up. Like, you have to humble yourself to some extent to allow a freshman to be a player that can play your leading scorer or be somebody that's going to work with you. And I'm sure that she has soaked up all kinds of information from the seniors. And so I hope that for the next 3 seasons at least, they can come back to Louisburg Wildcats games and be proud to see somebody that they loved working with go on and, make her own legacy with the team. But for Rhea Kegel, for McKenna Losi, for Morgan Latham, it was their final basketball game of their careers here in Eudora, but a strong season for them. And it does come to maybe a bit of a sad end, but I think that it really, really was a great season to put into the books and one to remember. And I think one that can be a really big building block for the future of the Wildcats, where we might be talking about winning seasons very, very soon for them, and look at this as being one of those stepping stones where they were able to work towards that mark. Looking at the future for the Cardinals, where we will be back here on Friday either way, it is currently an 8-point lead for the Cyclones at home, who the Cardinals have beat twice this year. They have not faced Chanute. That would be a new opponent. We'll see. There's 2 minutes 34 left in the game with that 8-point gap. We'll see if we deem it necessary to keep you in all the way to the end of that, because there might be some fouling or whatever, how all that goes. But right now it is looking like the Cardinals will face the Cyclones for the 3rd time this year and get another chance against a Frontier League opponent. We're still No one has gotten the better of them for 2 years now. We will go ahead and go to another break here on the Eudora Animal Hospital postgame show, and then we will bring you back one last time after this.
Charlie was born at LMH. We had a great team of nurses. Not only did they check in on us regularly, they always asked if we had questions, always made sure that we understood what was going on. I cannot say enough wonderful things about the labor and delivery, family birthing, and mother baby care team at LMH Health. We had to put our entire trust into their hands, and just everyone was so friendly and so supportive.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
All right, back here one final time on the Eudora Animal Hospital postgame show. There's a minute 31 to go, and I realize we can just send you over to this live stream that we're looking at once we are done here so that you can know right away who that next opponent will be. But for now, we will wrap things up and keep an eye on it if it gets all the way to the end. But yeah, so we will just be following the girls because they will be at home here with their fantastic record from the regular season. But the boys will be in action tomorrow at 6 o'clock. They are not favored just the same way that the Wildcats came in here as the 13 taking on the 4-seeded Cards. It will be was it the 14 taking on the 3? Hold on. Yeah, this was 14 taking on 3. Anyway, 13 taking on 4. They have an 11-11 record, which sees them match up with the 15-8 Santa Fe Trail High School. So they will be hosted there in Santa Fe, and that will be their first round matchup. And if they win, we'll be able to tell you about that at least once we're back here on Friday and how things look for them, because the boys' schedule is offset by a day from the girls. So girls Tuesday, Friday, boys Wednesday, Saturday. So we can keep you updated on that as long as they are going. But yeah, that is it for the boys. And that's pretty much it here as well for the girls. It is a 10-point lead for the Cyclones. They're also at the line. You can look up the Ottawa Sports Network YouTube channel. The title of the live stream is OHS Basketball versus Chanute, and it's the main gym live stream. It's got the scoreboard and everything there, so you can see if there's any chance that Chanute make a 10-point comeback in the last minute and change, but it is looking like it will be the Cyclones coming back here on Friday, and whoever it is, we will be there. So that's going to do it for Hayden Harves alongside myself, Reed McAvoy. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Tuesday night. Go Wildcats, go Cardinals. We'll see you Friday. Have a good night.
From the gridiron to the hard court, the pitch to the mat, don't miss any of the action. We're there with live, local sports coverage at Varsity Sports Live